Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Michelle, and I am an associate with the National Equity Atlas. We are excited to introduce a new tool that offers a clearer picture of how workforce equity is evolving across the country. Over the past few years, the Atlas has deepened our focus on workforce equity because it is essential to building a shared prosperity for the nearly 100 million people facing economic insecurity in the United States. We know that our economic system has not been designed to benefit all people, and as technology continues to shape the future of work, it is more important than ever to understand who has access to these future-ready jobs, and how we can transform the economy into one that benefits all people. So today, I will walk you through this tool and show you some of its key features so you can get started. Starting on the National Equity Atlas homepage, in the top right corner is our main menu. Hovering over the Research tab provides you with the list of our research products, including our data snapshots. Let's click on that. This will take you to where all of our data snapshots live, and here you can access the Workforce Equity Data Snapshot. The data snapshot opens to a description of our vision of workforce equity, which is that the economic vitality of the nation has always relied on workers. Yet stagnant wages, declining worker power, and increased economic deregulation have left more and more workers underpaid, excluded from wage protections, and unprotected by fair labor standards. Our vision of workforce equity is an economic system in which all jobs provide equitable wages, stable employment, safe working conditions, and strong labor protections. A labor market that truly works for all forms the foundation of economic well-being and thriving communities. As you scroll down, you'll see where you can select your geography. This snapshot is available for the country, 50 states and the District of Columbia, 150 largest metro areas, 100 largest cities, and 430 largest counties. Please note that some indicators might not be available for all geographies. For this overview, we will select the United States as our geography. As you scroll down, you'll see that the snapshot is divided into 3 sections: people, jobs, and automation risk. The people section looks at the state of the workforce. Which workers are working but not earning a living wage? Who is most likely to be jobless? And what does the working age population look like by race, ethnicity, and age? For each indicator, you can hover over the data points and get a closer look at what each chart is showing. The text to the left of the charts point to some highlights that can help you interpret the data. Here we see that in the United States, workers who are people of color are more likely to be working full-time, yet still have incomes below 200% of the federal poverty level compared to white workers. An equitable labor market would ensure that all workers have access to jobs that are paying a good living wage. Next, we see that women across all racial ethnic groups experience higher rates of joblessness compared to men, speaking to the barriers that women face which prevent them from fully participating in the workforce. And lastly, in the people section, we see that the working age population is becoming more diverse compared to the generations that came before. Nearly half of 18 to 24-year-olds are people of color, compared to only 25% of those over the age of 65. This highlights how vital it is to support the next generation of workers and ensure that they are set up for success, as it's key to building a thriving and healthy economy. The next section examines the state of jobs and who hold different jobs. The first indicator in this section looks at who holds jobs that are future ready, which we define as types of jobs that are stable or growing, resilient to automation, and pay a living wage. Asian American and white workers are more likely to be holding these jobs, while other workers of color are less likely to be in these jobs. Making sure that all workers have access to future-ready jobs is crucial for a resilient and stable workforce. The next indicator looks at how workers are concentrated into different occupations. In the United States, white workers are more likely to be in higher-paying jobs such as legal, engineering, and management, while workers of color are overrepresented in jobs such as building and grounds cleaning and maintenance. In an equitable economy, all of these jobs would provide good pay and benefits as well as safe working conditions. But as it stands, many of the jobs held by workers of color lack these basic protections and supports. The next indicator shows the growth in jobs and earnings by the wage level of industries. Over the past 30 years, earnings and jobs have grown the most in high-wage industries, while middle-wage industries' earnings and jobs has increased the least. This further divides the economic security of workers based on the jobs they hold. In an equitable economy, all sectors and jobs would benefit from economic growth. Lastly, we look to the future. We project the growth of future-ready jobs in the next decade and who is most likely to hold these jobs. As current trends hold, less than half of projected jobs will be future-ready, and workers of color will be less likely than white workers to be in these future-ready jobs. For our last section, we map out where in the country there are the largest gaps between workers of color and white workers in terms of jobs at risk of automation. Metro areas in California see the largest gaps. In Salinas, for example, where there is a large agricultural industry, 63% of jobs held by workers of color are at risk of automation, compared to only 42% of jobs held by white workers, a 21 percentage point difference. This data snapshot helps to weave our workforce equity indicators into a cohesive story for your geography. You can also explore each of these data points on their own indicator page. When you hover over the Indicators tab, you can find these data points under the indicators Working Poor, Employment, Workforce, Future-Ready Jobs, Occupational Segregation, Jobs and Wage Growth, Job Growth, and Automation Risk. Under each indicator page, you will see deeper disaggregations and policy strategies that can create a more equitable economy that works for all people. Thank you, and you can always reach out to us at nationalequityatlas.org for any questions.